So while North Korea seems to be enjoying a lull in the provocations on the Korean Peninsula, it doesn't seem the same can be said of the Middle East. Israel accuses Iran of playing with fire as it launches multiple air raids on its forces in Syria. Israel has struck 12 Syrian and Iranian targets in Syria, including an aerial defense system, the country's military has claimed. The raids, which mark a dramatic escalation of tensions in the region, came a few hours after Israel allegedly shot down an Iranian drone that infiltrated the country. The Israeli military called the drone infiltration a severe and irregular violation of Israeli sovereignty and said Iran was playing with fire. In a tweet, the Israel Defense Forces said it would act determinately against such severe violations of Israeli sovereignty and is ready for various scenarios. But a spokesperson later said the country was not looking to escalate the situation. He described the airstrikes as a defensive effort triggered by an Iranian act of aggression. The Israeli military said two of its pilots had been injured, one seriously, when the F16 jet involved in one of the raids crashed in northern Israel after facing heavy anti-aircraft fire from Syria. According to the Israeli military, the unmanned aircraft shot down inside Israeli territory early on Saturday was a military mission sent and operated by Iranian military forces. The military claims to have the drone in its possession. IDF spokesperson Jonathan Conricus says that in response, Israel destroyed the Iranian site in central Syria that launched it. Subsequent attacks were carried out against 4 additional Iranian targets and 8 Syrian sites. According to the British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the first of the 2 separate and successive waves of airstrikes targeted the central desert area where Syrian troops and their Iranian-backed allies, including Hezbollah, are known to maintain bases. It cited unconfirmed reports of casualties among Syrian government forces and allied militiamen. The observatory, which monitors the Syria war through a network of activists on the ground, said the second round targeted outposts in the southwestern suburbs of Damascus. The Israeli military claimed that 3 aerial defense batteries and 4 Iranian military sites were among the 12 targets. Anti-aircraft missiles were fired towards Israeli jets, triggering sirens across northern Israel, according to the military. Syrian state TV quoted a military official who described the raids as a new aggression. He also claimed that Syrian air defenses hit more than 1 Israeli plane. Israeli Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman was convening the top brass at military headquarters in Tel Aviv to discuss a further response. Israel has previously shot down several drones that tried to infiltrate its territory from Syria. Saturday's raids on Iranian sites in response marks an escalation in Israeli retaliation, however. So, while the stock markets appear to be plunging, whether they continue to do so, we'll see on Monday. But for now, they've lost over 2,000 points in the last couple of days, wiping $3 trillion off of the gains that have been made this year in terms of the records that the stock market has broken. And if the iPad Got video timeline is correct, and if it is being kind of played out now, then we may expect the war coverage to come next. And it appears escalations and tensions are at an all-time high in the Middle East, particularly between Israel and Iran, and the Iranian-backed forces that are in Syria. So the other key thing I just wanted to kind of point out here is where Israeli Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman was convening the top brass at military headquarters in Tel Aviv to discuss a further response. That is in direct contradiction to up here, where it says, but a spokesman later said the country was not looking to escalate the situation. So one person saying they're not looking to escalate the situation, and another one saying they're convening the top brass at military headquarters in Tel Aviv to discuss a further response. So it's likely that there may be a further response to Iran in Syria, or Iran directly from Israel in relation to their pilot being injured and well, two of their pilots been injured and one of their F-16s been shot down after Iran launched a drone into Israeli territory. So we'll see what happens. Um, Obviously, we're in the high watch time, so every day's a day to be cautious. With that, I'll just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.